Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have the singer Paul Middleton from England in the UK. So let's see what Paul has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hello, this means
Hello Paul, how are you?
I'm good, William, and yourself?
I'm very well, thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time on Saturday evening for the interview. Thank you.
There's no problem at all. I'm really happy. Thank you for asking me. It's
Amazing.
you do, it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Paul, you said this, where are you from, by the way?
I'm from the UK, but I live in Berlin, Germany now.
Oh, where is about in UK do you come from?
Well, it's a long story. I kind of feel like I come from London, because I've lived there for the past 20 years, and before that I moved around an awful lot, so I'm going to say London.
I see. And why Berlin?
My partner. So I met my partner out here. I was doing a gig out here, and a friend said, come to this bar, Wolf Bar, for a drink. And I was like, okay, great. And I met him there, and and then kind of we had a long distance relationship to start with, and then we moved in together, and kind of and I moved here. It was the natural thing to do. I kind of moved here in between lockdowns, so it's been great.
I see. And what's the best part of living in Berlin, in your opinion?
That's really hard to say because of the pandemic. I've not really done that much, but the best thing about living in Berlin, I'd probably say, is being with my partner. And having a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, so it's good.
Oh, I know you are a singer, so tell me a little bit about your career.
So I started off singing probably at the age of 20, and I was doing a lot of gigs, through my 20s and 30s. Kind of like in my 30s, I started to grow a little bit of a following, and I put out some covers. Actually, the first project was just like more for my mum, and then to put it out and see if anybody liked it. So the first album, my mum died of cancer, and the idea was to put an album together and all the profits go to cancer research, and people got really behind that. It was lovely, really nice. And then it kind of developed from there. It grew and grew, and I think kind of I'm on my fourth, like last year, 2 months ago, I released covers for my fourth album. So it's been 7 years. Like in the last 7 years, I've been recording and releasing music and gigging and stuff, and I love it. I've been very lucky. I've managed to sing in different parts of the world, which is a dream for many people, and so I feel really lucky to be able to do that, and I love it. So this year I'm kind of focusing to start my own album, which I'm very nervous about, but I am looking forward to doing it, but I'm just really nervous about it. So yeah.
Why is this feeling of being nervous about?
A good question. I think it's because it's going to be me. Like if you do a cover, it's my voice, but it's someone else's words. Whereas, this is very much me, and it's a different level of vulnerability. I think kind of putting, your heart out there for everyone, and it's tough. So I've kind of, my aim has always been to build a following, and hopefully when I do original stuff, they'll get behind that as well, to a point, and that's what I'm excited about. So yeah.
Very good. I think it's always, as you said, it's a bit. We had those butterflies when you start a new project, but it's a nice one, isn't it? It's kind of challenge. You feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen? How is it going to be? But it's exciting at the same time as well, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, Paul, so are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Okay, great. Yeah.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my lovely box. Hey!
I love it. That's great.
I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Yeah, of course. Play it.
Let's do it. Yes, please, help me dancing. Oh, good moves.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Paul. So just before we start the game, so through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very chilled.
Yeah. Awesome.
First question for you is, oh, I love this one. Send away a message to someone, but you don't need to know who this message is for.
So I'd probably say something like, thank you for being an amazing person, and keep going because you're doing incredible.
There we go. Next one, let's do it, Paul. Right, before the next question, I was checking your profile on Instagram, and there was a little phrase that got my attention. It says, songs connect with mental health.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So I kind of, the whole music thing I kind of got into really stems from, I lost my mum at the age of 14, 15 to cancer. And, throughout that, I've kind of carried this pain for such a long time. And there was just, if I'd watched something on TV which was cancer related, I would just burst into floods of tears. Or if you start talking about my mum, it just floods of tears. And it got to the point where I was getting embarrassed about it. And I was thinking, why do I kind of, I'm 30 or 40-year-old man now, and I get upset by this. And I just thought, as a way, because I sing, I thought, that's my passion. Obviously, I love my mum to bits. Why not kind of do something both and kind of make it a cathartic experience of letting all this emotion out. And so the first album, or the first two albums, was very much, with my mother in mind, and kind of, letting out some pain. Not in all the songs, but letting out some, some of the pain from that. And then I just thought, what, as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, why not, make it about that experience as well. And so some of the songs are kind of related to kind of me letting out good times, positivity, with being, in a wonderful place with people in my life and stuff like that. But also some of the sad times and some of, the more kind of, difficult times I've had, and so singing allows me to kind of, it helps my mental health. I mean, gym helps people, hobbies help people, and and the singing is kind of developed into kind of very much now where I'm an independent artist, and I am a small business now. This is my livelihood, and I love it. It's hard work, but mental health has always kind of been my thing for the last, since I've been recording music, and and I hope by sharing that it kind of connects with other people and kind of helps them as well.
Absolutely. Are you okay to talk about your mom?
Yeah, of course. I might be a little bit upset, but of course I am. I think it's, I love my mom to bits, and yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask you, when you think about her, what's the best memories that come to your mind when you have these feelings about her?
Oh man, now you are going to get me upset. So, gosh, I think before she became sick, we were very lucky that we lived in the Caribbean. At that time, we didn't always live there, but we had a couple of years in the Caribbean, and just the joy of living there in hot weather. I'm from the UK, so it's usually really cold. So for us Brits, it was just lovely to kind of be in a hot climate. And my mother was so joyful, and my favorite memories of her are kind of her singing to me, her embarrassing me. Like, parents can embarrass us, and she would she would embarrass me all the time, and actually it used to really get on my nerves. I was like, "Mom, stop it, you're embarrassing me." But I think, one of the saddest things for me is kind of like, I kind of feel robbed of a lot of memories, because as when you're young, you don't retain a lot of those memories. But I have certain moments and memories of her sitting down with me, and I think one of the most special things she ever said to me is, all she wanted for me was to be happy in life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No,
I don't want you to get emotional.
No, it's good. I'm sorry for, and I think it's great advice. I mean, I still wonder to this day whether she would know if I was gay or not by that point. I mean, I look back at some videos of me as a kid, I'm thinking, oh my God, the signs were there. And so I do wonder if that kind of advice was based on that, that maybe she knew, she had an inkling, and she said just be happy, and yeah, definitely. And her singing as well. She used to sing as well. She used to love to sing, and I think kind of that her voice and her passion for that and the happiness it gave her and me.
You're saying that, I got goosebumps now. My goodness, powerful! It's powerful, Paul. But you say about that. I think all of us, by the way, thanks for sharing that. It's a topic, it's a very, let's say, challenge topic for you to talk about and open up. But I think all of us, like the gay community, all of us, we have so much connection with our mom. They are this protection, and I'm sure when she said to you, I just want to be happy, was a way of her saying that she accepts the way you are, and she will be there for you. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter, even she's not here anymore, I'm sure she's there. And I think that's saying that for sure, it's a big message that you're gonna carry for life. So and it's a good thing to remember those, those best memories. And it's just, it stay there forever. I'm sure in our mind's gonna stay forever, even though it's quite hard for sure, but it's like memories for life that we're always gonna remember.
Yeah, I agree, and I cherish it, and in fact, I wear. There's a story. I have a little ring there, which is it's actually from the Caribbean. It's called the Crucian hook ring, and it's sort of like been adopted by my family. And this was my mother's ring, and it was a present that was my dad bought for me to give to my mum as a Christmas present, and obviously she wore it, and then so when she passed, she's given it to me. I mean, it's tiny, and it does squeeze my finger a little bit, but I've had this since she passed, and it's very special to me. So
very good. And you have siblings as well?
I do. I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. Love them to bits. They're a lot older. But I love them to bits. Yeah. Very
good. And they're back in the UK as well?
Yeah, they live in the UK. At one point, my sister kind of lived with me. Like when I was kind of growing up, that's when my brothers kind of moved out, but my sister was with me for a little bit longer. So yeah, she's kind of traveled around with us as well.
Very good. Next question for you is, Paul, what is the biggest risk have you ever taken?
This is a really difficult question. The biggest risk I have ever taken. The biggest risk, I think the biggest risk I would say is probably putting myself out there, or in terms of like being an artist and kind of, trying to kind of put yourself out there and connect to people, and I think this goes for anyone. You don't have to be an artist. I think it is a risk, and obviously I put a lot, in behind my music and stuff, and so it is a risk. Yeah, for sure. I'd probably say that is the biggest risk.
For sure, it is. For sure. Next one. Right. Next question for you is, what's something you always want to do, but you're scared of?
I would say to release my own album. There's 2 things. So in terms of being in music, certainly release my own music and album. And I think the reason why is because I want it to be good. I want it to be the best it can be, for the level that I'm at. And, I don't want to mess it up. I really don't want to mess it up. And I think that kind of, I was talking to my partner about this the other day. I think that kind of has held me back a little bit. But also, like, I didn't want to release music to kind of like nobody. So I'm kind of glad I have an audience and listeners and fans who kind of are really supportive and kind of, are kind of getting behind me, which is so lovely of them. But I'm on my own journey, and I can't rush it or anything like that. So, but the other thing I'm scared of is probably swimming with sharks. I think I'd scream. When I used to live overseas, when I go swimming in the sea, I watched Jaws at a young age, and it traumatized me. But every so often that music starts coming up in my head. I'm like, okay, I've got to stop. And I'm looking around under the water with my mask on. Those sharks, okay. And it's just like, it's that's one thing that's definitely scary.
For sure, very scary. Next question, Paul. But before the next question, tell me how music came into your life, and what's the best part of being a singer, and what's the most challenging part?
How did music come into my life?
Yeah, how did you you start the passion about music?
So music came into my life really, I'd probably say from singing at school, and kind of like like when you're in school and you all sing a hymn together or sing a song together. I love that sense of community and the camaraderie, and I just felt a part of something. I felt like I'd found my thing. And then my sister, funny enough, because she was older than me, she'd sometimes pick me up from school, or and we'd often sing those songs because she knew them as well. And so we'd sing them in the car together. And even like at one point, my brother, one of my brothers, well, actually both my brothers, they come from a rugby background. They're very like, kind of, and one of them started singing Billy Joel with me, and we were singing like, Billy Joel in the car together, and we were just having so much fun. So I think it's kind of like the joy, and obviously my mum, singing it as well, and those feelings of comfort it brought me. So that's how I kind of got into it. And what I love about singing is how kind of from feedback is just how kind of like my voice is kind of connected to people. What I do is important for people, and I don't often see that. Like I kind of think, well, what do I do? And sometimes I kind of just feel like I'm another singer. So, which in some ways I am. There are so many people doing, what I'm trying to do, or what and I just try my best. So the best thing about singing is often connecting with people, whether it's live, doing at a show, or whether it's just through your voice through recording a song, and then people just kind of go, oh, I melt, and some of the songs I do are quite relaxing, and a lot of people say, oh, your voice relaxes me, and some people said puts me to sleep, which I'm like, is that a compliment? And of course it is, because music can affect us in all different ways. When we go clubbing, they can feel sexy and energized. So there's music for everyone out there, and the biggest challenge really I find is kind of, I think, finding my place in this music world, because being a member of the LGBTQ plus community, I kind of find that it's very difficult to connect with really a lot of people in my community. And I think, and I will say this from my experience, the majority of music I listen to, are probably female singers. And I think gay men in particular feel more comfort and less, I don't know, there's less, I don't know, I'm going really deep here, but I think there's less kind of opposition when there's a female singer in front of you rather than a male singer. And I've had conversations with other, gay singers and male vocalists, and they who are in the community, and they kind of all say the same thing. They kind of think there's a connection that's not quite happening right. And I don't know whether it's because of the whole male figure is threatening, because of all of our past experiences. Some of us had horrifying experiences and bullying, so which I think why drag queens are so popular and wonderful, because they disarm us. They help lower our fear. But I just kind of feel like sometimes, well, look, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm one of you, and I sometimes kind of feel that's the biggest challenge for me. And then when I do get kind of like the straight community supporting, and they do, it's kind of like which is wonderful. But then sometimes when people discover my voice, they love the voice, but then as soon as they get to know me and they find out I'm gay, it then can cause problems. I'm not all the time. I've been very, very lucky. And ironically, the most problems I've had is from within the community. But actually, I have to say I am very lucky, because I've had an amazing time. And when I say I've had a couple of problems with the community, it's just I can count on one hand, really. So yeah.
But do you think that do you think that the majority of your the people who support you, your fans, do you think they're more the gay community or more the straight community?
Right now, it's I would say it's 50-50. I mean, depending on the platform. Okay, so on Instagram, it's kind of it's it's 90% male. You know, Instagram is a very, very visual platform, and you know, I guess I have an appeal for people. So because it's visual, I kind of suit that. You know, if you look at my Spotify, as you know, I get access to that kind of data, and I'm very 50-50, which I think is more of a telling story. Facebook, I'm probably more 60-40 male, and then so yeah, it's kind of you know, I do know my demographic, but at the end of the day, you want to feel part of your community. You want, you know, you want to kind of share your stuff with your community, who you can connect to. And I think the difficulty is, and it saddens me, and it frustrates me as well, is sometimes that connection is not quite there. You know, and maybe covers is not something that the gay community are big fans of, but then I kind of say, well, look, drag queens are lip syncing all the time, and you know, to covers, and so I don't think it's that. I do think it's to do with our fear of, you know, of the male figure and what that represents, and which is a sad thing. So, yeah.
All right. Next question for you is: who is the most influential person in your life?
Oh, the most influential person. Well, I'm gonna go back to my mum. My mum obviously was, because, you know, I guess music-wise, you know, it's because of her that I'm partly on this journey. So without a doubt, and actually, you know, as a kid, I really think I was affected by a lot of adults as a kid. I think, you know, one of my teachers at school, you know, I actually had a massive crush on quite a few of my teachers, actually. But, you know, there was one particular teacher who kind of, you know, I just saw how he made me feel, and kind of like the way, the kindness that he had. And that's kind of really important to me, kindness. And so that's been a massive influence on me as well. So, and then musically, who's influenced me musically? There's probably, I mean, again, that ranges. Like, from my parents' influence, my parents were listening to ABBA and Eric Clapton, you know, so I love guitar, but I love pop. Then the 90s came along, you know, I love 90s music, so Britney, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, you know, and then I love Rihanna, Pink. Pink is one of my favorite artists of all time, so yeah.
I see. Very good, very good. Next question. Right, Paul, next question is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
My favorite thing to do as a kid was probably getting up on Saturday morning and watching the cartoons, like the 80s cartoons. Like, I loved watching He-Man. I love watching Thundercats.
How about She-Ra? She-Ra.
Yeah, well, I remember She-Ra, the movie, which featured Adam. And what I loved about She-Ra was that it was actually, I didn't know it at the time, but I gravitated towards it. But I think it's because it was a strong female, which I wasn't used to. I was just like, oh, this is different, you know. And I guess it is really camp. I mean, I've watched, I think, the first 2 seasons, or maybe the first season of the recent She-Ra that came out a few years ago. And I couldn't quite get into it as much. I mean, I did enjoy it, but I didn't quite enjoy it. I prefer the new Masters of the Universe. That's on Netflix, and I think Mark Hamill is the voice for Skeletor, and I absolutely love it. You know, I mean, so yeah, all those kind of cartoons like Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats, Gummy Bears, DuckTales. That was kind of my favorite thing. And then obviously, you know, I'm obviously a creative person, because, like, you know, I used to have the action figures and stuff, and I would play for hours with my He-Man action figures, and, you know, make Skeletor and He-Man kiss to be friends. Even though I didn't know what it meant, I was just like, yeah, be friends, yeah. You know, and then join forces. It was just like, I really loved all that, you know. That was my favorite thing. And also the other thing was probably going outside, you know, playing on the street with my friends. Like, this was a time when you could go on the street and with your BMX and ride up and down the road and play with boards. This is, you know, before there was, you know, like, I mean, obviously there were predators back then, but, you know, before predators became a huge thing where it stopped parents from letting children play by themselves, you know. It was a different time.
I remember Thundercats. I love Thundercats. My God, that was that was amazing.
If someone asked me this, was like, which Thundercat would you want to be? And I said, oh, Chitara. I just thought she was the best. Like, I love this. Yeah, I love that special move she did with her bow, and just like, oh yeah, she was awesome.
No, but Lion, I had a crush on Lion. He was like, wow, the main.
Yeah. He was amazing.
Yeah. But Chitara, she had sassy way of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, good on you. Let's see you kick ass. Go do it.
I remember that. Next one, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, so far, what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from your partner?
Oh, wow. That's a really lovely question, actually. The most beautiful thing is what love really means. Like, I'm going to get upset again. God, you've caught me on a real day where I'm very much, I'm actually really tired, but he's really taught me a lot about love, and what real love is, you know, and unconditional love. You know, he's really opened my eyes to that, and I remind him every day how lucky I am, and he says the same thing. But you know, he really is the most beautiful person I've ever met on this planet.
Oh, he's German.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we had the funny thing is, like, you know, if you asked me like 10 years ago, where do you think I would end up? I never thought I'd end up in Germany, or even, you know, with someone who's German. I've never been to Germany before, you know, and you know, it's amazing how love can surprise you when you're ready for it. Well, even if you're not ready for it, but when it does surprise you, it's just amazing. But it took a long time for me to kind of get to that place, to kind of feel that, you know, I'm worthy of love and all that kind of, you know, stuff.
Good to know, because the next question I would like to answer in German, okay?
Oh, I'm German. Nine.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm going to do spot now. Right, next question for you is, talking about music, what is the soundtrack of your life and why you consider that?
God, for an album, to name an album, that's really difficult, because I'm a little bit weird with music. I always go for songs. I'm a song lover. And I find it really hard to kind of like pinpoint an album. But
you can choose a soundtrack to be a song as well. What's your favorite song like?
Oh man, God, you've got me. I think definitely in my youth, my teens, Father and Son was really important. Ironically, even though my mum literally just, you know, had just passed away, and this song I just thought was really beautiful. Cat Stevens sang it, and then there was a boy group called Boyzone in the UK, and kind of they put a very simple, beautiful, elegant version of it together, and kind of, you know, the lyrics are just lovely. So that's definitely from my youth. I would say, I'd say right now, SWV, be right here, no fear, have no fear. I think it's called Right Here, but it's SWV. It's kind of, and it samples, Michael Jackson's Human Nature, and it's just like, the lyrics behind that are also really, really wonderful. And for me and my partner, you know, we both kind of, that's our life song, I think.
Beautiful. He'll be very happy to know that.
Yeah. He knows that.
He knows already. Next one. Okay, Paul, next question for you is, what is the worst first date have you ever been on?
Worst first date. Okay, this is my fault, and probably I didn't even realize it was a date. As far as I was concerned, I was just going out for dinner with a friend or a potential friend, and so in my eyes it wasn't seen as a date, but obviously for him it was, and he was very much into me, and I didn't realize. And but I had feelings for someone else at the time, and Yeah, we were just talking casually, and I was talking about this person, and I think kind of I really upset him, and I know I upset him, but I didn't mean to because I then said, "Why are you upset?" And he said, "Well, what about you, me?" And I was like, "Well, what about you, me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not, I'm not. I thought we were just having dinner," and so that went really, really, really badly, and so it's kind of my fault, but at the same time, I didn't know it was a date. I just thought we were having dinner, friends, as friends, Yeah.
It can happen.
I just remember seeing his face kind of going like that, and I felt really bad for him because I didn't want to hurt him. I just thought we were having a nice dinner, and so I did feel bad. I felt kind of, I'm sorry for ruining your evening, letting you down.
And that's how you became best friends. I'm joking.
No, he didn't. We didn't talk after that. He wasn't happy. I did try, but yeah, he kind of shut the door.
Next question, Paul. Let's do it. Right. Before the next question, tell me what was the idea about your project Cover Songs?
What was the idea?
Yeah, I mean, how did you start the idea?
Well, it started because so I got to a place where I had a small following, and I think I mentioned. I'm not sure if you're going to include this from earlier, but because my mum died of cancer, I wanted to kind of raise money for cancer research, which is a UK charity. But I know they have charities around the world, but we have a UK charity called Cancer Research, and so I kind of thought, well, if people buy the CD, then the profits from that can go to this charity. And it just escalated from there, and then it's become this kind of, and actually it's become my business. It's my livelihood now. I kind of live a life as a student again, because that's kind of what being an independent artist is. It's really difficult, very difficult.
Let's see. Next question for you is, where do you want to be in 10 years' time from now?
In 10 years' time, the biggest thing for me is I want to be with my partner. My current partner, and happy. I want to feel kind of, that I'm still enjoying life. I've achieved a few things which I've wanted to through music, and I still kind of, I want to have a sense of like I still want to discover more of the world and reach out and connect and have experiences.
Very good. 3 questions left for you, Paul. Let's do it. I'm gonna follow your moves now.
Yeah.
Next question for you.
I call my moves dad dancing. I feel like I'm a bit of a dad now more than anything else, but I don't mind that at all.
Next question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
James Bond.
Oops, why is that?
Because of the gadgets, I think Daniel Craig was incredible as James Bond. He's become my favourite James Bond, and I think the way the films are made are brilliant, especially with Daniel Craig. The way they've touched on the humanity side. I think there's a lot of complexity there with Daniel Craig. There's a lot of pain with the character of James Bond that's kind of made him who he is, and I love that. I love how Daniel Craig brought that out, and so I would love to kind of continue kind of like exploring that through the character of James Bond.
Who do you think is going to be the next one, or who would you like to be the next one?
Idris. I think he would be a superb James Bond. I think he's suave. I think he's sexy. I think he's sophisticated enough. I would love that to happen, but on the other side, it wouldn't. I don't think it'll ever happen because it's too much of an important franchise. But I would love them just to kind of go really crazy with it. It'd be great if they cast a drag queen as James Bond. No, it'd be so amazing. How amazing and it'd be hilarious. It'd be so good. I think they could really bring something to that character. I'm being serious. I think it'd be really cool. Having said that, I know there was in the recent film, the new 007. I don't know her name, but she's a wonderful actress, and I'm not sure if a female James Bond is correct. Is the right way to go. I don't know, but I've seen. The reason why I say drag queen, by the way, is have you watched Queer Force on Netflix?
Yeah. Not well, I know which one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, God, I love it, and it works. You know, it's. I mean, I know James Bond is a bit more serious, but you know, they get.
Never know. Let's see. You never know. You know what I mean? The message is out there.
Yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. You're saying about James Bond. I remember when it was the Olympics in London when he was went to Buckingham Palace to see the Queen, and he was like, "Your Majesty," when he was talking, and when she turned around, I couldn't believe it was her. Everyone was like, "Oh my Lord," because everyone thought it would be an actress playing her. You know what I mean? Remember the time when she,
yes.
And suddenly she just looked, "Hello, Mr. James Bond," or something like that. I was like, "Oh my God, that's happening!" I couldn't believe. He was brilliant. I think he made, you know, James Bond. You know, he brought the movie in a bigger proportion. You know what I mean? He's always been famous, but he just left his signature there, like in the best way possible.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Next question for you is: if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
Kind of. I think my principles are kind of like, you know, being happy, being kind, you know, being fair, kind of looking out for other people, you know, the importance of family, I think, as well. You know, I think that's really, really important.
Very good. Ready for the last one? Let's do it. But before the last question, Paul, somebody watched the interview right now that would you like to start a career as a singer or start the business? What would be your best piece of advice to this person?
That I would say, don't expect anything fast. You know, don't expect instant kind of like success unless you're really, really lucky. You know, luck counts for so much of this. You know, but I would say, you know, the only opinion that really matters is your opinion and your belief, and kind of, you know, that you're happy doing this, and then just go for it and enjoy the ride. You know, it's a fun ride.
Very good. Last question for you is: what is the strangest gift have you ever received?
The strangest can also be like maybe like the grossest, or maybe like a fan kind of was gave me. I got, this is like years ago. I got sent like a Valentine's card, and inside the card there was 2 things. There was a match, kind of, and you know, say, you know, you light me up or whatever, and then the other one was a hair, and it was kind of like, you know, this is part of my body, and you know, it's for you. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. I mean, I've, you know, never heard from them again. So, but that's definitely the strangest.
Very strange, for sure.
Yeah, creepy to be honest, but.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Our family, love.
Okay, money.
Pain.
How about love?
Happiness.
Life.
Enjoy.
Sex.
Wonderful.
Politics.
Crap.
Religion.
Awful.
Fear.
Dark side. I think because I've been watching Star Wars, I'm sorry. That's why it's coming to my head. Sorry.
One word for friendship.
Love.
Desire.
Passion.
Regrets.
Pain.
Success.
Achievement.
One word for wish.
One word for wish? Oh God. Dream.
Okay. Happiness.
Ecstasy.
One word for London.
Busy.
One word for Berlin.
Settled.
Oh. And one word for music.
Love.
And the last one now, singer. One word.
Brave.
Very good. Let's pretend now I'm going to Berlin to have a coffee with your lovely partner, and I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Paul, and tell me something that he still needs to improve on, to work on. What do you think your lovely partner would tell me?
My partner would say probably, he would probably say my personality, my heart, kind of. He would say that's the most beautiful thing. But then on a superficial level, he loves my chest. You know, he likes that an awful lot. And then to tell me to improve on, he would say, stop being afraid, you know, of everything, like in terms of, you know, just don't be afraid, and, you know, remember, you know, how wonderful you are, and remember, you know, what you do, and it's a brilliant thing.
Very good. Let's play now Paul and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. I just feel like clubbing now after your moves.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Paul, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so obviously, you know, it's going to be a music-based question. So, who is your favorite artist, and why? How did you get into them? Tell me anything you want.
Right, so I must say that I love music. I think I cannot live without music. Music just moves you, even when you are, let's say, in a melancholic moment or sad moment. Even when you put music, you feel the pain a better way. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think music, it can take you to different places, you know what I mean? You can take to different words and different moments in your life, everything. I think music, it's something that people should have around all the time. Saying that, I love all different kinds of music, for sure. Like, I'm very easy listen to music. I'm a big fan of the 80s as well. You know, I love the 80s. I think it's, you know what I mean? Just when you listen to it, it just brings good memories. But I'm gonna go for a Brazilian entertainer called Xuxa. She's a Brazilian entertainer in the 80s where I grew up. I think all my generation knows her very well. She was doing this show for kids every morning. And the music she always bring every day was this kind of lifting up music about believing your dreams, about, you know what I mean, go after your dreams or desires in life. And until now, I have those music on my MP3. And when I go to the gym, I listen to those music and I feel like, my God, just gives me this beautiful energy and brings me to my childhood. And sometimes I go like, oh my God, imagine if people knew that I'm listening to this kind of new song, because it's for children, mainly for children, those music. But I just love, I just love it. And but again, saying that, music, Paul, as you said, when I go clubbing, when I go party, when I go travel, when I'm at home, when I'm alone, you know what I mean? Music just, it brings joy, you know what I mean? Brings a lot of joy into my life. And but yes, I would go for those children music when I was a child. You know, it brings me these good memories. And when I'm in the gym working out and going to work, and when I listen to them, it just brings me to my childhood, and brings me good memories. And yes, I would go for that.
I love it because, you know, as an artist and a singer, your kind of response is kind of why we do it, because, you know, like, music moves you, you know. And obviously, you know, when I do my own stuff, even with the covers, you know, when an artist gets that kind of enthusiasm that you have, it's just so powerful. It's awesome, really, really powerful. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, did you like the interview? Did you enjoy the experience?
I've loved it. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been a wonderful. It's been cathartic. It's been fun. I've danced. I've cried. I don't think I've ever done this on an interview before, William. It's absolutely awesome, and you are brilliant. So thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time. You know what I mean? You've been very sweet since the first time when I approached you online. You were very sweet, very approachable, and I think you just made my day. And actually, I was a bit nervous before the interview. I was like, oh my God! But you made me feel comfortable. Straight away when we started, I could see you're down to earth. You're very approachable. That's I enjoyed as well. But I was a bit nervous, I must say.
Oh, don't be nervous. No.
But anyway, before you go, Paul, if you'd like to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires in life.
Yeah, so I've kind of mentioned kindness a couple of times, you know, during this conversation. This is a quote from Sharon Gannon. I have to write it down because I'm dyslexic, so I'm terrible at remembering things. But create the kind of world that you want to live in by how you treat others now. And, you know, I absolutely love this quote because I really think we need to be more kind to people and you know, and it starts right now, you know, and, you know, on my Facebook feed recently, a lot of friends and even, you know, even myself have had some negative, you know, experiences on social media and stuff. I just think social media in particular needs to listen to that kind of message and say, do we want our social media to be like this? Do we want it to be no, you know, and you know, I don't know what the answer is to that, but I think we all need to start with ourselves first.
I think kindness is such a genuine, easy gesture, isn't it? It's so easy to be kind, and I think it can give a big impact in people's lives. You know what I mean? It's a simple gesture of kindness. Nowadays, as you said, the world is so fast. When people give those gesture of being kind, people they remember that and they appreciate as well, for sure.
I agree.
Oh, thank you so much. All the regards for your lovely partner. You know what I mean? And one day in England, I'll meet you, or when I come to Berlin for a coffee, it'll be a pleasure to meet you in person. Okay, Paul? Thanks so much for the interview.
Thank you so much for having me as well.
Enjoy your evening, okay? Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.